everyone, my name's Lexi for those of you that don't already know. Today's video is on an insomniac's cure. I'm going to be handing out 10 tips on how I manage my mental health. Not my mental health, my insomnia. Okay, so moving on. Tip number 1, no eating before bed. This is a 2-hour window before bedtime that you do want to avoid eating. Now the reason behind this is because this actually will, your digestive system will keep your mind awake because it's trying to process the food. So just avoid eating if you can. And if you have to eat, make sure it's a small meal. Tip number 2 is you want to turn out the lights and you want to watch something lighthearted or funny. Now the reason behind the lights is because you can actually motivate your brain to naturally create melatonin if you turn out the lights. The lights on tell your brain that it's daylight out and that you shouldn't be sleeping. So the reason behind the lighthearted and funny movie or TV show is because you're going to have a hard time sleeping if you're watching something negative or horrific. So if I'm watching a murder documentary, chances are I'm not going to be feeling the greatest mentally, and I'm going to have a harder time falling asleep than I would if I was watching like Family Guy or something like that. Tip number 3 is you want to manage your mental health. So what this means is that if you have trouble sleeping and you're not getting your full 8 hours of sleep every night, then you need to go ahead and discuss this with your doctor. They may suggest therapy or medication. What you decide to choose is up to you. That leads us to our next tip: medication and vitamins. So you can either choose to go the medication route and or the vitamin route. I would recommend something that's non-habit forming, something that's non-addictive, so that you don't have trouble coming off of it later down the road. Even if it's non-habit forming, you're still going to have a little bit of trouble, but obviously just not as much as something that is addictive. Then there's the vitamin route. Now me personally, I use medication and I use vitamins. So what I use is I'm prescribed Remeron, and I also use melatonin. Now if I'm in a bind and I'm just like not in the right headspace, I've had a really rough day, I really need to calm down, that kind of thing, then I'll go ahead and use this. This is not a paid promotion or anything like that. I'm just giving you guys an example of something that I use that has really worked well for me. It is called Natural Vitality Calm, and it's a magnesium supplement. So it looks like this. Tip number 5, meditation. Now, for me personally, I don't like meditation. It gives me anxiety. I find that reading a book or watching a TV show is my form of meditation. I just don't like having an empty brain, and trying to force that seems to give me anxiety. But I have heard that it works wonders for other people, which is why I've added it to my list. So go ahead and give it a try if you haven't already. It may work for you. Who knows? Tip number 6 is temperature. So you want to make sure that your room, whatever room you're sleeping in, is the perfect temperature for you. So make sure you're not sweating at night, make sure you're not too cold at night, that kind of thing. So me personally, I like to keep it freezing in my room, but then I have an ultra warm, comfy comforter at night. So that gives me that happy medium that I'm looking for. Tip number 7, environment. So you want to make sure that your environment screams, I want to sleep here. So you don't want something that's too crisp, clean, and clinical feeling, and you also don't want anything too dark and gloomy feeling. You want to find the perfect medium with cozy, warm, and just relaxation. That's the vibe you're going for. And if it doesn't say that to you, go ahead and type in Google cozy bedroom ideas, and you're gonna find in the images section just tons of things to look at, and it's really just gonna give you a million ideas as to what you want to transform your bedroom into. So go ahead and give that a look if you're interested. Tip number 8 is you want to set your sleep schedule. So this was the game changer for me personally. So I was finding that I was trying to go to sleep when I was feeling tired, which was rare. So I was going to sleep around 12 to 1 a.m., but I was noticing that I was waking up at 6:30 to 7:30 a.m., and it was always that window. So what I decided to do was push my go to bed schedule earlier and see if that made a difference, because if I'm waking up at the same time, then I need to go to bed earlier. The way I did that is I would push myself by 30-minute increments. So my bedtime was at 12, right? So the day that I decided to start doing this, I pushed it to, I went to bed at 11:30, then the next day I went to bed at 11, and so on, until I reached the 10-hour window. Now, the reason I give myself 10 hours is because you need 8 hours of sleep every night. Now, for an insomnia, for insomnia, I recommend that you go ahead and give yourself an extra 2-hour buffer, because this can actually help get rid of that anxiety. Because if you're going to sleep and you've only given yourself 8 hours before you go to work in the morning, and you end up not being able to go to sleep on time, or you keep waking up throughout the night, you're gonna give yourself anxiety. Like, I would find myself waking up in the middle of the night and I would just instantly go into a panic mode, because I'd be like, oh my God, I'm awake. Like, how am I gonna go back to sleep? I have to go to work in like a few hours. What am I gonna do? Whereas when I gave myself 10 hours of time, I would wake up and be like, well, I gave myself 2 extra hours, so I'm fine. And I would relax. And so if I wasn't able to go back to sleep immediately because of my lack of anxiety, I would go watch a TV show for a little bit or a movie, and I would come back and I would try again. Tip number 9 is exercising in the day. So you don't want to do this 2 hours before bedtime, because the adrenaline rush can actually keep you up throughout the night. You basically, what it does is, I noticed that it also improved my mood. It made me go to sleep faster and stay asleep longer. So it really is beneficial just all the way around. So go ahead and give that a try, and I don't mean like vigorous exercise or anything like that. It can just be something as simple as doing like 25 squats and 20 curl-ups, and then doing like 8 push-ups, that kind of thing. You get the idea. Okay. Tip number 10, my personal favorite. You want to play nature sounds while you're sleeping all night long. So find a video that is about 10 hours long, and make sure it's nothing like birds chirping or anything like that, because it's not very calming in my opinion. Unless, if you find that calming, then go ahead. But me personally, I just can't see why anyone would find that calming. So I personally gravitate towards things like rain sounds, ocean waves, that kind of thing. And I find that it causes a noise canceling effect. So if there's noise going on outside or anything like that, then the sound that I'm playing on my stereo cancels that out, so I don't wake up to that noise disturbance. So that's where this helps you stay asleep, go to sleep faster, and stay asleep longer. And it also helps with racing thoughts. So if I'm listening to something like rain, it's kind of hard to have thoughts at the same time. So that's why I really do enjoy it, and I do recommend it. So go ahead and give it a try if you can. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Go ahead and comment down below if you have anything to add, something that's helped you. I would love to hear it. Maybe I'll add it in my another video. Go ahead and press that subscribe button and don't forget to like this video.